I think we need to be thinking about, what are the kinds of victimization that happen in certain parts of Canada, and what are the needs of those groups of people who are experiencing that kind of victimization. My name is Tracy Porteous, and I'm the Executive Director of the Ending Violence Association of BC.
I'm Sharon Rosenfeld, and I'm president of a crime victim organization called Victims of Violence, Canadian Centre for Missing Children. And the organization was started in 1984 as a result of the abduction, rape, and murder of my eldest child.
Coordinated responses saved lives. People coordinating their services and their responses increase victim safety and increase offender accountability. And there's bodies of research on this subject. So the importance of people coordinating information. So let's talk about domestic violence for a second. Often in these situations, the police, if she's called 911, will know some part of her situation. If she then goes to talk to an advocate at the community level, she'll tell her story to an advocate, and that advocate might get more of the story. If a child protection worker gets involved, that person may hear a little bit more of the story about how this is affecting the kids because maybe they've interviewed the child. If she stays at a transition house at any point in her recovery or in the initial stages of the emergency response, they might understand a little bit more about her housing needs. And so if none of those people coordinated their service and each one of the systems knew a little bit about what was going on for her, we might miss something really important. And that's what we found in the aftermath of many coroner's inquests and many inquiries looking into the domestic violence deaths of women and their kids. What we found is that often each part of the system knew something, but nobody knew everything. And so the importance of coordination is something that we've known for a long time, but in terms of actually activating that and getting that going in communities across the country, it's starting on a bigger level than it ever has.
We were very clueless to crime. It's something you read about in the newspapers, and when you read about bad things, you say, oh my gosh, your heart goes out to the families, but never ever thinking that you'd be one of the families. We had no idea. We thought a justice system was for us, for the families. Darren was dead, and it wasn't. And when our dignity was so injured, and the dignity of my son, that when we buried him, when he was finally found, we had his funeral about 2 weeks after he was found because they had to do all kinds of investigation as well. And so we buried him 6 weeks later, and I stood at his grave, and I made a vow to him that I said, things are going to change. And I said, I will not return to see you. I will not return to see you until I can stand with my head held high in front of you. I was so undignified by the way we were treated and the callousness of everything. And the bottom line is, it was 16 years later.
The motto that we're following is life trumps privacy. So we agree that privacy is first and foremost across the board when people are seeking government services. But if somebody's disclosing that their life is at risk, we would hope that information is going to be shared with whoever it needs to be shared with in order to save her life.
We went ahead and we formed an organization, and it was formally registered in 1984, and it's called Victims of Violence. And so we worked with victims right across Canada. I mean, and there still is problems today with crime scene cleanup. When there's a crime scene in a home, I mean, we've gone in, we've patched bullet holes in in walls, we've taken mattresses out, we've cleaned blood off walls, because the families can't do this. There's so many things that the average public do not know about what victims of crime have to go through. I think that we have to take a strong stand and make the federal system strong, and hopefully then the provinces will follow.
So when you have everybody sharing the information, you have more of a totality of information, so that it's like you can imagine everybody surrounding her, or everybody forming a very tightly weaved safety net under her.